and welcome to Universal Heritage Television Nigeria. My name is Afam Echi, your host. Today, again, is another edition of our breakfast show, Daybreak Nigeria, and my guest is Professor Tony Oha. Professor Tony Oha is a professor of onomastic science and special advisor to the Honorable Commissioner for Lands in Imo State. That is Honorable Atulewu. Prof, you are welcome to our program.
Thank you very much, Afam.
Today, we are going to discuss some governance issues in the states and in the nation and beyond the nation. And please remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform. Prof, looking at what is happening in Nigeria today, many people have, not just Nigeria, and what is actually sweeping through Africa, many people have given up on democracy. There is so much opinion weighing on the side that it is not working in Africa, even though it is accepted as a global phenomenon and identified as the best form of government. But drawing from the experience we have here in Nigeria, in Africa, and some other places, people say it is not working. For you, what are the issues and why is democracy not working?
The democracy, by its definition, is government of the people, for the people, and by the people, which means it is a kind of government that the people themselves decide to have, to be ruled by the majority decision. But most times, the most popular is not always the best. That's why democracy has a problem. One could have popularity because of the power of money. One could have popularity because of one or two levels of philanthropy. But in real governance, the person may not be able to do well. That's the problem with democracy. You select somebody, people say, okay, fine, we'll let this man go there, and they get disappointed. And when the person disappoints them, they seem to have forlorn hope. So the democracy by its nature is not usually the best form of government. I believe that the best is that government that has to select people based on their level of merit, meritocracy. Somebody like, okay, let's give an example. There are some people in this country who have stood in terms of what they believe that true governance should be, and they've been doing it well. I will not mention Peter, even if I mention him. He's someone that has, come to say, this is what I am. Okay, verify me. Come on, okay, fine. The person say verify. Why don't we try him based on merit of what he has done in the past? There's some outside that have been there, very good politically. Some of them like Shehu Sani and some others. Even among the Yoruba, there's some very good ones. So if we could have a kind of electoral college where we select these people and appoint them or elect them through the electoral college to handle it, you could work better than democracy. Democracy is not working because we are not selecting the right people because of the influence of money and other factors.
Okay. Now, but it is working in other climes. Now, could it be that in Nigeria, for example, we are made up of people from different backgrounds? Is it also likely to affect the working of democracy? Where you have the Igbos, you have the Hausa, you have people entrenched interests, different interests, the heterogeneous nature of the people practicing this. Because if you look at the areas where they are working, like the European, the American, the so-called advanced countries, there are people with common culture, common language, and they seem to understand themselves. So is it also possible that these differences in our nature has a role to play?
The chances are that the differences will also play a role because of different tribes supporting their tribe, no matter whose ox is God. They don't care. And outside my and outside, you don't want Yoruba, you want Igbo. So we cannot select the best because of this influence.
Okay. So because of entrenched interest, everyone is fighting for his own place.
Exactly.
Okay. Now, what would you suggest in the alternative to democracy? Because taking your mind back, before democracy is one of those things we inherited from the colonial overlords. Just like the religions that came from outside. Now, before democracy came, we were governing ourselves. But democracy came and things are falling apart. So what will you suggest in the alternative?
If democracy is the best, we will not be able to have presidents that rule for 30 years in Africa. It's not the best to have presidents that rule for 40 years. And even when they are dying, some of them will be paralyzed. They'll carry them on a stretcher. They are still president. These are the fellows of democracy. So I think that there should be what I will propound as reformed democracy, where some factors should be taken into consideration: education, age, health status, even history, biological history, physical history, mental history should be considered. If the wrong person is selected because the INEC or the electoral body has cleared the person now wins. That person that they have cleared is the problem we're going to have. But if INEC does their job well, or the selection body does their job well, then it's being settled already from there. Okay. We have had cases of people that entered with fake certificates. We have had House of Rep head who entered with a fake Toronto certificate. He was disgraced. Today, people still have the same thing, and they're in power. So the electoral body is not doing what's supposed to do well.
Okay. Now let me take you to another issue. Back here in the States, there is this controversy about your commissioner, Honorable Noble Atulewu, and his Okuku community over land acquisition by government. You know, the issue has been in public space for some time, and we would like to hear from you the true story. Give us the right perspective to the issues, because the community people are saying a different thing, and it is also saying a different thing. So we would like to, more people would like to know. You know.
Honestly,
you using drive from your position as he.
Yes, honestly, I am not going to talk about that issue just based on my position. I want to discuss it or explain it based on the facts on ground.
Okay.
Number one, Okuku community came to the government to acquire their land because of the problem they've had with another community called Agua. They came and made that request. The government came in, I think it was 2017. They came in before my commissioner Noble Atulewu came in. They came and requested that they were settled. The normal, procedure for land acquisition was not for them. But that land was not fully entered by the government before the commissioner left. Before that tenure left.
What do you mean was not fully entered?
Yes, it was not fully realized, even though they were paid compensation. Processes were not rounded off. Yes. So this time around again, Commissioner Atulewu came in and said, fine, let us realize this place. What he did was, he settled them again, second time. But the problem was that some miscreant from the community, maybe due to one influence or the other, kept criticizing the government because they had sold these lands as native lands to people who failed to do search in the Ministry of Lands.
They sold before government acquisition?
They sold even after that acquisition of 2017.
Okay.
Thinking that the government will not come to realize it. That was actually the problem. So they were selling to people that never did search to confirm the authenticity of that particular place. That the place is without any encumbrance. So when the government now came this time around through Atulewu to realize that place, these young men were now complaining. But Atulewu told them something, and I quote, if anybody arrests you,
he told the community people.
Yes, he told the youth. So if anybody arrests you, that you sold the land to them, and they came and arrest you, that you not spend an hour in the station, I'll come and bail you. With a phone call, they will release you. Why? Because people did not do their due diligence by making proper search in the Ministry of Lands. He told them that.
Yeah, but it would be not right to ask, when the government was in this process, did they make it public?
Sure, it was made public.
Public knowledge that they've acquired.
It was made public. It was. They, even the community, they know it. The elders even came out to tell the youth to calm down that they had already been settled. They've collected compensation for this place. Why don't they realize the youth were not protected? But the truth of the matter was that the commissioner is aware because he's someone that knows about the intrigues of land acquisition. Before he became the commissioner, he had been into the business. So he told me, said, look, I know most of us have sold these things. And you think that those that bought it may come after you. But if any of you is arrested, call me and I'll make sure that you don't stay there. Why? Because they did not do that due diligence. That's in the law. What I tell you, do your search before you buy land. No matter the property, do your search. If you don't do your search and you buy the wrong land, then you are the one that has failed. The elders told the youth to come down. The elders even came out openly, even in public space, to say, government has taken over this land. You people should stop this mess. So sometimes when we listen to that, I hear somebody like Nosunkwa talking about that place. I begin to wonder, what kind of journalist is that? That will go on air with us without confirming something, and he's talking about it. A journalist is supposed to have an unbiased, release of information. You hear from left, you hear from right, then you balance it. But they balanced. You just see him talking about commissioner that went to grab land, do this and do that. No, even though my commissioner has said, look, I'm a land grabber. He said it openly.
Yeah, that was what they called it.
Yes, commissioner said, look, I am the number one land grabber because I grabbed this land for government purposes. I grab this land to make sure that people are satisfied.
Okay, with that, I'm not trying to make defenses for Nosunkwa based on what you just said. But this issue now takes me to another point I wanted to clear from you. You see, this is not the first time you are appearing in my program. You feel free as a government aide to talk about government activities. But the experience is that most times journalists in the state find it difficult to interface with public officials, government, these politicians. I don't know the reason. You call them, you want to find out something, they will either keep postponing until you get tired, you leave them alone. Some, you will not even get their numbers. People who get elected into office, they are there to serve the people. But when you want to have access to them, you can no longer have access to them. You can no longer get information. And because when there is no information, people are bound to speculate so many things. Somebody you want to interface with to get information, when he's shying away from you, it's not out of place to conclude that there's something he's hiding. So I'm not saying that is the case with Nosunkwa, but it would be nice for you to talk about why is it that government officials hold information that are not accessible. You go to ministry, I want to see the commissioner. They tell you, is it an appointment? They say no. Okay. They say no, you can't see him. Okay, give me his number so that I can call him and get appointment. They will not give you his number.
Actually, you are not saying something that is far from the truth, but it is not all government appointees that do that. My own commissioner is the most accessible commissioner in the state. At a point, we the A's try to tell him to rest. He works and works and works. In my ministry, we don't have anything like sit at home day. We work on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays. In fact, if you leave it, you work on Saturday. That's the kind of person he is. If you come to that place, you must see him. It might take time, it might tarry, but if you have patience, you must see him because he handles several cases. And has resolved so many land issues in the state under his administration. Resolved so many. People now have confidence in dealing with the government. That's why people can come and pay for search, pay for this and pay for that, because there's this confidence now in the government that things are working properly. There is nobody that wants to say Atlo that knows Atlo. He's the most accessible commissioner. In fact, the day some newsmen came to interview him on this issue, this Okuku issue and other issues too, he told them, he said, look, before you make any information known to the public about a ministry, please get to the point to get unbiased information. You don't just come and begin to condemn the Ministry of Land that they have done that which was wrong. When in effect, you don't even know the reality of the whole thing on ground. In fact, he told some of them, he said, look, he said, be careful, because what you sow today, you reap it tomorrow. He said there is karma. He told them, say karma is something that will follow anybody. Anybody that does not do that which is right, that karma will follow the person. You can't just report something ill against the commissioner when you have not confirmed from him. At least hear the two sides. Somebody went to like a white paper in particular. You know, they reported that the commissioner level grabbed land of naked people. That those people said that he should be sacked. Now, somebody, the person that wrote that letter, published in white paper, was an ex-convict.
The person that gave the information.
Yes, that gave them that, even brought the letter. You know, that said that they should sack him. Was an ex-convict. That can't even come to the public and say anything good. Now, the commissioner saw it and was at the point he said, I want to see the newsmen. How can they be writing about me without coming to me? We tried to calm him, that he later calmed down, that he brought them closer, then gave them low down of water. So one of them asked him a question. If you say you have actually made the necessary procedures, you know, followed, you have paid necessary compensations to people that own this land, why are we not aware? He said because of the security, the state, and other issues. If I now announce on air that I have paid Okuku 60 million, I have paid the remuneration for 30 million, that we are exposing these people or these families, you know, to unnecessary attacks, which could come anyhow. Government do that is in secrecy, but those they are dealing with, they know that I've dealt with them. So it is left for the journalists to go and meet those people and say, because some people among them I say, no, let's tarnish the image of this government. One thing or the other may happen or lead to the other. That's the situation of things. But my commissioner, I can beat my chest to say that he's the most accessible. He's a workaholic.
Okay, so the takeaway from what you just said is that this thing is an individual.
Sure, it's an individual.
It's not a matter of government policy.
Sure.
Okay, I pray that.
Like when he was the commissioner for entrepreneurship, oh my God, he was the most accessible, and that ministry was the icon of the government. Most people are even saying, why is that ministry not existing? No, existing again because there is no another Atulebu. I'm sorry to say that. Because we are up, listen, people have been commissioner for lands. They have been commissioner so and so. But the person that does the more work is the person you hear about. So just they are complacent, like a bicycle.
Okay, but is it right that the ministry should be shut down because somebody was changed?
The government decided to rebrand it. Okay. With me. The aim of entrepreneurship was to train young men, empower them. And Atulebu was able to empower over 15,000 in the state, across the 3 blocks of Imo State. He did that. Some people got good loans from CCBN to start business. They're doing well. So immediately he stepped down, he was taken to lands. Somebody else came in there. There was a logjam. Then the commissioner couldn't stay because of one thing or the other. Then he goes, okay, why don't you make it larger? But I want to tell you something. If, like today, we have Ministry of Labor and Productivity in the state, nobody hears about it. But it is the man in the saddle that makes the difference.
Due to his activities.
Due to his approach to administration. Are you with me? Due to his approach to issues. There are some customers who go to their office, they are like the lord of the flies. You just come to that place, they say, Lord, they don't want to see anybody. They won't see anybody for Monday night.
Yeah, it's a common employee.
There are some that don't even go to their office. I know of a commissioner that doesn't go to her office. She could go there once in a month, just taking people like up and go. But they are commissioners.
Okay, let me take you to another issue of a governance issue in the state, and that is, you see, the government is claiming to have done so much for the people. Other persons are of the opinion that the local government system is dead. And like one of my friends said, do you need anybody to tell you that local government system is dead? When you go to virtually all the local governments that are taken over by WIT, that if a local government that receives allocation is not able to clear its surroundings, what other evidence do you need to see that the local government is functional? And if you, Imo State, generally speaking, that is the case where we are today. The local government system, go to even some government establishments, because there are WITs all over the place. Is it to say these local governments lack even the small funds to clear their environment and keep it clean? If that is the case, then you can imagine what is happening inside the government. Actually,
I met one of the coordinators of one of the development centers recently. Okay. He told me that They're just giving some money.
The development center, are they still functioning?
They are functioning, yes.
But nobody heard about them.
They are functioning. They are functioning. Some of them are working. That was it. Depends on the individual. The young man said that the money that comes in takes care of salaries of the staff, the appointees, and also some other 1 or 2 issues that they might need. But that on his own, he gets something out of that little thing they give them, and they are building the development center, which eventually will transform to the local government. Say they are building the structures and the rest of them. But if you go to some places, they'll give them this money, they stay in the house and share. Nothing is happening. No place. When you go to that place, they call the development center, just say forest. Yeah. But some people say it is the man in the saddle that makes the difference. Now, we're talking about local governments covered by how much does the government give to them? Government gives them enough to pay staff and to have overhead costs. Now, it takes a prudent sole administrator to realize that the government must be kept clean, that some roofs that are already been put on by windstorm could be repaired, that some roads that have been bad, some gutters that could be put in good shape. What does it take if not prudency? If you're prudent in managing public fund, you can achieve a little with a little. That is just so. It is the man in the saddle. That's why we go to some local governments, some are doing better than the other. It is the man in the saddle.
Okay, yeah. Before we round off, let me still ask you this question. Nigeria boasts a lot of talents, so many talents within and outside the country that are doing well, marvelously well outside the country. In fact, Nigeria exports talent. Those of us in the diaspora, contributing to the development of other nations. But here, nothing is happening. We are so low in virtually everything called development. But whether it's in the judiciary, in whatever aspect of government, you see Nigerians doing very well outside. Nigerian professionals is not for want of skill or for want of ability. I don't know, how do you see that Nigeria is still struggling with leadership issues when its citizens are doing marvelously well outside?
The problem we have in Nigeria can easily be summarized in the few words of Wole Soyinka, which says, the best lacks all conviction, while the worst is full of passionate intensity. If nobody recommends you, they won't know you. Government to make appointment of special advisors. Take a look at those they recommended, or those they appointed, who recommended them, and what are the biases for recommending them? Personal aggrandizement, not based on merit or what one can achieve.
Competence.
Sure. Somebody I will mention the name, is a special advisor in the area of extractive industry, mines and etc. I said I have something in that area that could generate fund for the state. There are these Indonesian investors that wanted to come. They want to come, see what we have on ground, and they pay the state to begin to extract. They could generate money for the government. The man said, wow, that's a very good one, I'll see you. The government doesn't answer my call. And he doesn't answer my call.
And that effort is killed.
The effort is still that if somebody could, look at the former commissioner in that, there's a commissioner in that area, will give me a proposal to give to His Excellency. In that, doesn't cost the state anything, no. Nobody is saying the state should bring 1 naira or 2 naira. No, these people are coming and just invite them to come and discuss with the governor, and then go into our extractive industry. Imo State has so much minerals. The minerals are minerals, especially in the Okigwe area or Haji area. If you know, ordinary sand in Otamene is used in production of glass.
Okay, Prof, you see,
so,
let me do
so if the right person is in the saddle, believe me, this will work. If only the government, it's just like, I'm sorry to say this, but let me refer to the late Onyadibulem. I was in Edo State. One of the was appointed the military administrator of Edo State. He announced, he said, I want to appoint commissioners. Apply. Bring in your CV. Okay. In public, people applied. LMC did that. People applied. They were screened by Pricewaterhouse, those recruitment. Yes, those people unbiased. They selected them, they interviewed them, got the best from them, and they sent them to the house. The house approved it, and they did excellently well. Imagine a governor that of Edo State for 9 months. What we achieved, most governors spent 8 years and they don't even achieve that. If only we could give the governors this seamless approach.
Yeah, I think the problem is, the problem is with politicians, because like I don't know why the secret that the private sectors are having is making them to try that cannot apply to.
That is the point. Yes, yes.
It's because of interest and people hire hands.
Thank you very much. I know more than 1,001 SEs to His Excellency who cannot even match what I can do. But they are there. They've been appointed.
Thank you, Prof. I will need to bring you back here very shortly to talk about this extractive industry. I remember I met you in a forum where you were talking about these opportunities that abound in the state, which are unexplored and lying fallow. Viewers, this is where we draw the curtain. You had our guest talk about why democracy is not working in Nigeria. He mentioned the heterogeneous nature of our people, the corruption, the incompetence, and so many other reasons. And he told us also that why government is not doing well is because of the particular individual that is at the helm of affairs. So this is the reason why you can see one ministry or one agency is doing better than another, and so many other things. On this note, we round up the program and say, please remain part of the program for another edition. My name again is Afam H, your host. Remember to like our Facebook page and subscribe to our YouTube platform.